always think about those women that led the way, or those people that led the way from a long time ago. But it's also important to be able to identify with people that are current. I'm very happy to be able to say we work very closely with our Bronx Borough President, Vanessa L. Gibson, who is an African American and a woman. Another person that comes to mind would be our Bronx DA, Darcel Clark, right? So she's also an African American woman. And then our own state Attorney General, right, Letitia James, another strong, Black, powerful woman. Those three Black women inspire me day to day. When you think about the struggles that they face and the criticism that goes behind them having to wake up and just simply do their job, it's really an inspiration to watch them day in and day out, still get up, still do it, in roles that were once dominated by men. I'm pleased to say that I find joy in knowing that I am managing an entire borough, and the 4 leaders that report to me are all women. I always share this story. I remember meeting Dr. Schwartz face to face in a meeting for the first time. You know, she let me lead and give my advice and suggestions, and then she said something to me that has resonated with me for the rest of my career. And she said, you don't always have to be right, you have to be smart. I don't have to, as a woman, always try to prove that I'm right, because being smart, and when you handle it correctly, it's a message in itself. It's a message that you don't have to say, hey, look at me, I know what I'm talking about. Because when you do know what you're talking about, it shows. And everyone in the room will pick up on it without having to say anything.
So someone that I really admire is Eleanor Roosevelt. She obviously was the first lady, but she did so many things. One of the things that she did was very early, before she got married, is she worked with immigrants, girls, and teaching them how to read. And she spent her whole life working on social causes and getting the word out on priorities, not just of her husband's administration, but things that she felt very strongly about, particularly around healthcare. She was fundamental in starting what we now refer to as the March of Dimes, which was an outreach for polio vaccination. And of course, as going to the UN and representing the United States, she did the UN Declaration of Human Rights. And it's very integral to what we do here, is respecting all people with the right for health care. Eleanor Roosevelt said that health care is a human right. I really admire her.
So I would have to say it's my grandmother. She's no longer with us, but she's always a constant light and inspiration to me. Her name was Josephine Garcia. You know, she came from Puerto Rico in the 50s, had an 8th grade education, and I think one thing that she's always instilled in me was making sure that I did well in school and that I aspired to be better every day. And so that continues to kind of guide me throughout my life and my career, my journey, and as a mother and as a wife. And so I would say that those are the things that she left me while she was here.
So I thought about a lot of people that I could choose, and the woman that comes to mind is my mother-in-law, Clara. She was a very exceptional human being who really changed my life in so many ways and really was a second mom to me. And what was unique was she defied the typical expectation of a woman at that time. She was a stay-at-home mom, but she managed a household with such grace and dedication while also being deeply involved in her community. I think the values that my mother-in-law lived strongly by resonate with our values and mission. She emphasized community service, support for others, the importance of a very strong and connected family, all of which align with our commitment to providing compassionate care and creating meaningful connections with our members. Her legacy of service, and there was so much of it, and her care reminds me of our mission to empower individuals, support their health journey, and build lasting relationships within the communities that we serve every day. Personally, she taught me the importance of commitment, whether it's to your family, to your community, or your own personal values. Professionally, her ability to manage many responsibilities at once and prioritize what really mattered most had such an influence on the way I approach challenges in my career. Whenever I struggled at work, I would call Clara and I'd ask her, how do I address an issue? And she would always tell me to prioritize what mattered the most. And her focus on nurturing relationships, whether it was in the family or in the community, reminds me that the heart of success is rooted in empathy, dedication, and service to others.